Here we go for another 3VD League cast. This is the 4th Division Playoff Final. They opted for a best of 3 due to time issues. It was hard to schedule, and I'll always keep the playoff final as an option to allow for a best of 3 rather than best of 5. Because it's a league for fun, no prize pool. Don't want to force players to commit too much of their free time if time zones or other issues, real life issues, makes it difficult to play a full best of 5 set, even if that's always better for a grand final. But this is the map draft of the 4th Division Playoff Final between Sweetie Boys and TWH. And I have to update my title. Hold on here. That's the title. Need to get that out of the way. So, first pick for Sweetie Boys is Arena. Always brings some interesting strategies to the field, that one. First pick of WWT would be Arabia. And then we start the banning down process to decide the neutral game 1 map. So, Mediterranean is out, Hideout is out, Land Nomad, 4 Lakes, and Team Islands are gone, as is Nomad, which leaves us with Socotra as the designated neutral starting map. Alright, what do we have in store for Socotra here? This is the full civilization draft for this best of 3. So we have some standard arena sims out of the equation here, Turks and Bohemians. Whereas Sweetie Boys, of course, want to be rid of Britons for Arabia, and Gujaras just a strong overall civ. Seeing some obvious arena choices here, like Poles and Cumans, whereas for the Arabia situation, could be a Hunt's Pocket actually for Arabia. Flanks, Koreans, Italians, perhaps. No, Italians could be arena as well, actually. As for these guys, Teutons strikes me as the arena pocket civilization. Scots, that has to be for Socotra. Poles could be Socotra as well, come to think of it. Franks, obvious Arabia pocket, if you ask me, and then Mayans, Ethiopians on the flanks as well. Possible Jokers, Dravidians on flank for Arabia. So just dive into the first game, which is on Socotra. Guess we'll just have to expect chaos here. First point of agenda to find your elephants. Elephant semi-front for Steve over here. Boss of the Arm Boys to the left-hand side. Maybe he's going to be playing the Burmese at some point then. Right out the lane. He's going to get lucky here. He's going to find the elephant. He's going to find the elephant. This is also going to be blocked by Steve's scout. Let's see if he attempts it. Oh, hits the wrong side of the elephant. This could mean a scout going down for Boss of the Arm Boys here. Let's see if it can be successfully blocked by Steve here. Steve doing his very best. He's already at an advantage because of the purple scout being down in HP. But if you lose the elephant, that's a huge setback on Socotra, as it sets your starting food back by a lot. And this is going to cost the players in terms of idleness time as well, this kind of distraction. Boss of the Arab Boys is going to bring it in. Does know the location of his own elephant as well. Will Steve try to claim that one instead? Steve doesn't know where it is. And opts for stealing a couple of sheep instead. There we go. 2 goats down. Potentially 3 goats down. But the Eagle Scout at risk of going down as well. A value though for Boss of the Arab Boys, for Sweetie Boys here. here. Also going to bring in his own elephant now, so that cannot be claimed by Steve. Now it's going on the other side here. Elephant brought in, both sides brought their elephants, no laming on the other flank side here. Alright, now for the civilization. Rizos with the Khmer in the pocket here. Could pull off some super fast castle style plays here. But would also benefit the scouts. Oh, look at the middle between them here. All of the hub to the same place. Whoever moves out here to push or mill first or whatever is going to get a huge advantage. I would almost consider committing some wood to wall this area early on for Rizos. Even though it wouldn't be blaming his teammates. It's so hard to tell the hunt situation here. Purple is effectively stealing the hunt of Steve as well. Rough start for Steve, but these mines, the resources last longer. Might be able to recover here, going to push in some of the hunt as well. I mean, if Resource is allowed to push in all of this here, if Purple keeps stealing the hunt from this side, and Resource just keeps pushing all of these, he might just be able to pull off a straight fast castle here. Lots of builders moving out here for Daniel. Oh, it's the Persian douche! We're gonna see a douche here! Right into the action with the red player with the Persians here. Another move to buy the time for the fast castle. I guess this could be a very strong Socotra play from Sweetie Boys here. If this douche is successful, and since the mines have been set back as well, if Resource is just not being touched and keeps pushing in more of this hunt, then he can go for the super fast castle age, while the Persian player keeps the Goths flank busy. Khmer, Koreans, Persians, Lithuanians, Goths, Mayans. That's the situation we have at hand here. Town center obviously completes. Sova with the Goths. Not able to click up yet, missing lots of food to click up. It's a pity for Daniel that the berries weren't on the other side. I hope you imagine a TC drop here actually. It would be amazing, except there would be a TC to hit, but you could douche both the berries. Obviously commit to repairs. I don't think there's any point in committing to repairs here for Sova. Sova is going to be stuck in the Dark Age for a good while longer. Could arguably commit to a barracks and some militia to keep further douches away. Hardly viable at this point, but it's going to let that TC go down and probably rebuild it down here or something like that. Left side, barracks going up for both players. Steve is lagging significantly behind Boss of the Iron Boys to the next age. 4 on gold now for the Koreans. That should mean straight archers in the feudal age with the impressive 19 pop uptime with Boss of the Iron Boys, but he did get 2 elephants and the mines player got none, so that's also something to keep in mind. Bengal is on the arena. I guess not. I guess not. Not everyone loves the monk rush, you know. Getting some help from Resource Scout here as well. So it's not going to be one super fast castle, it's actually going to be douche accompanied by scouts here, which makes it increasingly harder for Sova to relocate here. It's going to, yeah, that's gonna go, I guess. Sova hasn't lost a single villager yet to this douche approach either, so Daniel's douche efforts. It's obviously keeping the Goths in the Dark Age, which is a good thing, but it's also keeping Daniel in the Dark Age, which could be less of a good thing as the game progresses. We still have Mayans here, recovering a bit, the rage going up for the teal player. It's ranged blacksmith from boss of the Iron Boys, so we're going to get the fletching significantly earlier. I don't understand the men-at-arms, to be honest. But let's see how it goes. 14 villagers now for Daniel, has lost 15 villagers thus far. Now at risk of losing more to Hannah's scouts as well, as the economy at home base is very much unprotected for Daniel. Can Daniel even creep-hold here with the goats kind of in the way over here? I feel like that would be a good area for Hannah to hit at this point. I haven't really scouted where Daniel's place used to be, home base used to be. Am I the real boss of the Iron Boys? I don't know. You tell me. Not gonna be any Iron Boys this game, that's for sure, because we don't have any Burmese. Oh, here we go. Heading for the wood line. You could significantly compromise the wood income of Daniel here by forcing rewilding here. I think have all the scouts hit the lumber camp, but you're good. Because eventually they won't be able to repair anymore. Sova gonna lose the TC, but not before Fuel Age can kick in, which should allow for Archer's production eventually to keep any further douches away. Or 90%, 91. Nice, panic repairs here, nice. Still got wood to repair, so that's Town Center is gonna reach the Feudal Age. Goths now officially in the Feudal Age. Going to lose another Town Center, yes, but Soba now has enough stone for another Town Center. Missing some wood, obviously, but with the assistance of Hannah, Lithuanian's teammate, the Persian player should not be able to drop another Town Center easily down here. The house going down for Sobo. Does he get pop capped as Refill? No, because he's only on 20 pop. He's making some village share here to have some extra means to fight the opposing aggression. Daniel's douche getting limited success, but Soba has lost 4 villagers as well, and is about to lose most of the houses. Could still punch down more houses here, Soba. Now what? 20 pop here. No TC. It's about to place it. There we go. Soba should be housed now, actually. I can't tell because there's nothing in production. There's no idle TC time because there is no TC. Meanwhile, lots of scouts from both sides here. Hannah with the advantage also got defense upgrades in. They both do. Rizzo's about to get the attack upgrade, but is outnumbered, so I think Hannah will still get good trades here. Gonna get some builder pickups on the Rizzo's side as well, playing it completely open. Whereas Steve has been able to hold off the Koreans for now. Panic house for Sova, gonna need another one. Is still housed here because the villagers of Daniel keeps pounding down the houses of the blue player. Now going to stone to be able to drop another town center, I'm sure. I do not need walls and fur. Famous last words. We've seen that Titanic so many times in pro games that you rely too hard on garrisoning houses, but I get the sentiment. I do. It's a convenient function to hide in houses. Another house to be going down. Are we gonna get housed again now? So not yet. Not yet. And another DC drop for the red player. That's some beautiful quick balls going up there. Not on the other side though, forcing Sova to... Wait. Oh. Where are the scouts? Scouts. Okay, big fight in the middle here. 2 versus 2 on one side, 1 versus 1 on this side. Still a Dark Age Persian player. Trying another DC drop. Hello, Walter Valderley. Welcome. Yeah, you know these teams well, huh? Hannah scouts are here, getting villager pickoffs. Daniel lost 10 villagers thus far. It's at 17 as compared to Sova's 20. However, Sova is in the feudal age, has been on gold for a bit, and has wood and gold to create archers now. So another town center drop is going to be difficult for Daniel. Many villagers exposed. Lumberjacks okay, but yeah, still possibility of some villager pickoffs on the what used to be Daniel's home base. Sweetie boys now breaking through at Steve's home base with the mines here. At the very least, will lose his farms. Does not have the numbers to keep up. The boss of the Air Boys also going to the castle age here with a very sizable amount of archers to become crossbows here for the Korean side. Meanwhile, the Mayans player will be losing production capabilities here. Maybe the archers get some free shots in, maybe not. It sucks to lose production capabilities like this when entering the castle age. Might even lose another range here if this keeps up. Yes, rebuilds them, but that's a wood cost you don't want to have to be spending at this point. Great aggression here. Just a few more seconds for castle age. That's 1 minute lead over the Mayans here to the crossbow upgrade. While the douche aggression is still on, forcing Sova to keep building houses. Daniel higher score than the feudal age player family, but now the archers are out for Sova, and even relocates to the back side of Hannah's base here for a safer town center. Hannah out and about and raiding here. Now in for the Koreans, moving away. Where are they going? Are they going to go clean up Hannah's scouts? Maybe Hannah also 30 seconds away from that castle age now, actually getting there about 45 seconds earlier than Rizos. So the Lithuanian player earlier to the scouts. The relics collection is going to be awkward though with the way the relics are placed on this map. Now defending the wood line will help to the... Yeah, okay, I guess Daniel is going to try another town center drop here. Is that worth it though for 6 villagers? Probably not. It's a Persian Dark Age player against a Castle Age Lithuanian player here. But funny enough, with the crossbows of Boss of the Iron Boys, they're still doing some significant damage here. Boxing fight is on. Sova, 19 villagers still. Daniel with 25 because Daniel has had the town center up for longer, forcing the town centers away by Sova. Really keeping the Goths occupied here, which means any Goths pikes or men-at-arms or even Huskarls against range units later on is just not going to happen here. Military situation well ahead for Sweetie Boys here. They're behind in the cavalry production though, as Hannah has a significantly higher amount of knights. Only got a +1 defense. That hurts against the crossbows of the Koreans, but as long as you don't get too close to the upper pass of crossbows, you'll still be okay, I think. Yeah, that's questionable douche from Daniel here, but once again forces Sova away from the wood. Resource count at an absolute low except for the gold. So with... Once Sova gets enough wood to place a market, it could tweak the resources to get stabilized a bit further here. Forever Dark Age for the Persians. Is it going to be enough here, Sweetie Boys? They are actually ahead in economy somehow. But it's 19 to 16 villagers for the Persians and Goths here. As the villagers once again start taking out buildings. But here come the Lithuanians Knights. That is properly bad news for Daniel here. And Daniel is just not going to make it any further here. We'll need to relocate somewhere to stay in this game. We have resources here, healthy farming economy at work here, carrying some of the gold with the Koreans player here to boost that crossbow production. 4th range coming up for boss of the Iron Boys here. Ooh, 2 megavels from Steve though. We get some proper lucky hits here there on the choke point, tries an attack round but doesn't quite succeed. Ridiculous early aggression from Sweetie Boys, but will it be enough? Which civilizations have the better options here? Lithuanians, once they get to collect some of the relics, they'll get a boost to their attack stats for their cavalry. Hannah, 9 knights to the 11 of the Kurnaus. That shows the power of the Mer farming income here for Rizos. Which goes down for Daniel as well. Is that going to be another TC drop now? Where are we going? Go for the market on blue. This allow Sova to trade the gold for other resources here and force him to build another market. That wood income on Sova is just suffering once again, isn't it? It leads to TC, and now douches the green player. What a Sokotor game we have here. It's 32 minutes almost, and Daniel is still in the Dark Age with the Persians, making life a... Is it a nightmare? Probably not, but certainly providing value for the viewers here with the insistent Persians towns and drops here. Still, Woodland working at home. Could mine some stone over here for further towns as well, but that's it. Sweetie Boys, twice the military of the opposing team, slightly more villagers as well, and WWTDWH decide to tap out and call it for the neutral game of Socotra. Great game. Let's have a look at the stats here. Forever Dark Age for the Persians player, but it seems to pay off. Early lane, of course, stealing the elephant of the Mayans is a big deal as well. Certainly setbacks the Mayans there. Boss on the Iron Boys with a positive KD here of 62 to 50 resource, managing to get ahead in the Knights numbers at some point. Not quite right now, but generally speaking. Overall, economy-wise, I guess WWT is still ahead, though, but Goth's never able to get what they maybe would have wanted to, like some kind of men-at-arms towers, men-at-arms archers play. Who knows what the plan was? They got douched before anything could happen. Let's go to the home maps tab. Show the neutral home map won by Sweetie Boys here. They had a Camber, Koreans, and Persians for that one. Whereas the Mayans not able to pick for Arabia anymore. And Lithuanians, where are you? There we are. And Goths going down for that one. Brings us to Arabia, which is the home map of WWT. Excuse me. I'm expecting to see Franks, Ethiopians, Vietnamese here. But you never know. And then for Sweetie Boys, Magyar's pocket perhaps. And Mongols Franks could be. Not really seeing Burmese on an open land map, but you never know. You never know. Let's just dive in and have a look. I'm curious what teams could have a look here as well to see the overall standing chart. Game 2 coming up. Oops, for Arabia, okay. Fair enough. So let's have a look here. And I'm going for the Dravidians on the open land map of Arabia here. Losing out on the team bonus, which is docks providing population space, unless there are ponds, but there aren't any. And why would you? But Dravidians still granted 200 wood once they reach the next stage, which makes it a lot easier to pull off a straight archers. For example, 19 population up for the Dravidians. And still be able to afford a blacksmith right away as well. In the pocket this time we have Soba, not needing to worry about getting douched anymore, at least not most likely. Franks dominating the early feudal age with their 20% more hit point scouts, but once bloodlines can be researched, they fall behind a little bit because of the opponent. If they get bloodlines for their scouts, will have more hit points than they'll have. $60 hit points, no 60, yeah. They'll have more hit points than the Franks, 54. Left side, hey, spoilers, Bofors, come on. Ethiopians for Steve on the flank, faster firing archers. Always coming in handy against what do we have here? We have the Huns on the flank for boss of the Aram Boys. Aram Boys. Bringing in the Rhino just now. Bofors always play so poorly. Fair enough. Fair enough. Huns on flank, not unheard of, but also not the most common one. They would make a very good pocket for Arabia, but having Huns on flank will boost the Magyars from pocket, because the Huns team bonus is that the stables work 20% faster. Magyars already have a bonus for their melee units, where forging or any melee upgrade kicks in instantly without you needing to research it. So having 20% faster working stables on top of that certainly boosts the pocket choice of the Magyars here. They have a good opportunity to mass lots of cavalry archers here as well, if they'd like to. Because Huns have 20% cheaper cavalry archers, and Magyars have fully upgraded cavalry archers plus a unique technology on top of that. Finally, on the right hand side, we have Daniel here with the Poles on flank. Not the most commonly used flank either, but they do have Arvalists. They do have the potential of spamming lots of cavalry with their unique technology, and the folwark economy gives them an amazing food economy, but that is much more useful for closed maps, because on the open maps, generally speaking with the Poles, you want to place your folwarks first, right, and then farm around them, because that's going to give you an instant 10% boost of food every time you complete a farm. The downside of that is that you won't be seeding farms around your TC as the first few ones usually, which will set back your, well, which will render your economy, food economy, more exposed to the raids. So that's the setback of having Poles. So Dravidians, Ethiopians, Franks against Magyars, Huns, Poles. I have to say, I kind of prefer WWT's civilizations the more. But we'll see how the game progresses, I guess. Huns buff Magyars, Magyars buff Huns, yeah. Fair enough. It's true, it's the new Magyars team bonus, that's true actually. Let's have a look. Other archers created 25% faster. That's the team bonus on Magyars these days. So having both Hans and Magyars could make for some serious cavalry archer play. Now looking up the app times here, we have a 18 pop app for Rezos. First of all, the next stage here seems to have a little bit of a lack of wood perhaps for the stable. Yeah, it's marginal, but it's there. So the stable will be slightly delayed for Rezos, but no big deal. Just a few seconds here. And now committing 4 villagers to compensate. That's fewer villagers working, but it means that the stable will complete at... It will still complete earlier than the Franks, because Sova is going up at 20 population here, so the Beggar stable will probably be up earlier than the Franks by good margins, so they'll have the advantage of earlier scouts production. Also, 1 damage to scouts against archers. That's true. That's a good bonus as well. Infantry opening here for Steve. That's getting swiftly dealt with by boss of the Iron Boys here. That's just not going to do anything for Steve, unfortunately. Not a huge investment for the Ethiopians, considering that they get 100 food, 100 gold once they reach the next stage. But it's still 2 militia down for nothing for Steve. Also lost 2 villagers somehow. How did Steve lose 2 villagers? No, did he lose 2 villagers to boar? Oof, Steve. Ay, ay, ay. That hurts. Dangerous, these elephants. Missed it. Or is it Rezos and... Oh, he didn't lose the war, he lost to Rezos and also the Iron Boys. Okay. Oof. I was worried something really bad happened here, but it's just good enemy army coordination from Sweetie Boys that had Steve lose 2 villagers. Speaking of military, dead even in military economy situation comparable as well. It's 2 villagers down for WWT because of the military aggression of Sweetie Boys. So a better start here at Sweetie Boys for the Arabia game as well. Not as aggressive as the previous game. As Sokotra is one of the most aggressive maps out there. Great trade there for WWT, cleaning up lots of scouts and archers of Sweetie Boys. On the right hand side we have Hannah walling off her, 2 rangers producing, not moving out just yet. Is she just keeping the archers at home base? Also double range archers as well. Already a defensive tower on the goal to make it harder for Hannah to contest this very forward goal on the poles. No gold. Semi in the back this goal. I guess you could wall off this section and to the edge of the map and you'll have your secondary goal secured. Let's have a look to the left hand side for WWT here with these scouts and archers. Looking for another good fight here. I don't really see any archers at all from boss of the Iron Boys over here. They are... yeah, there are a few of them, just 3 archers over here. Great aggression for WWT here now. They're really getting revenge from the early economic kills here. Steve with 4 economic kills now, and they're gonna get more on the woodline. Quick wall there from boss of the Iron Boys. Will maybe limit the damage a little bit here, but defense coming in for scouts, which means that the villagers won't easily fight them as much. And it's open here, so the scouts can still get out. Scouts can still get out for Sova, so good use for Sova there. Gets some fantastic trades. Look at the eco kills here. WWT now 10 villagers ahead with this aggression, keeping the hill for the archers and the scouts as well. Possibly our boys decent chunk of archers here now. Although the archers players got Fletchy in as well, but scouts with the +1 defense now for Sova. Happily chasing some of the archers here for more military kills. Let's have a look at the overall KD here. Still on the even side, but WWT gaining an advantage there. The idle transfer times are very much comparable, but it's a 10 villagers lead just due to the raids and kills happening here now. Steve, faster firing archers here could be a big deal in this fight. No defensive tower on the gold or on the wood here for that matter. Speaking of woodlines of Boss of the Iron Boys here, not exactly the best ever. They're really spread out and really far away from the town center. So that hurts when you're facing this kind of aggression. Gold getting contested now. So look at the right hand side, how Hannah is doing over here. Still didn't really do much with this group. It's been moving a little bit back and forth, maybe playing it more defensively. And all she needs to do is hold, of course, with this kind of aggression working so well on the other side. Device though, it's somewhat similar. One thing that comes to mind when this defensive tower is already up for Daniel and Hannah is playing it relatively defensively is that Daniel could consider pulling some archers over to even out the numbers on this side and make it sort of a 3 vs 2 situation rather than a 2 vs 2, which is the case now. Also, the Iron Boys is really struggling to keep up with the numbers though. And to be fair, the gold placements of the purple player are very, very forward. And WWT are playing that to their advantage, denying the main gold for a long time. Spotting the relocation to the side gold perhaps as well. I mean, they've seen the pile. Gold. Oops. Oh, scouting for the last woodland as well. Could be devastating for purple here as he pulls away, but we'll lose another villager, I'm sure. Maybe two. Resource scouts join in again. The Magyar scouts, pocket scout number is comparable, but look at the transition to the next stage here. Hannah halfway, Soba halfway to the castle age as well, which means we'll have a gigantic lead entering the castle age for Sova in the pocket over Resource, who hasn't even clicked yet. Getting close, yes, but is not quite there yet. Healthy farming economy that will help the eventual castle age RP production, but still going to struggle against a Franks player with almost 2.5 minutes lead going into the next stage. That's at least 6 knives or more worth of production time. Not to mention that you get to the upgrades earlier as well. +2 defense already coming in for Sova here. As a healthy economy running at home, 8 villagers in gold will need closer to 10 villagers, assuming gold mining is in, 12 if not, to keep up double stables production. So it's double stables producing the knights. Let's see, Hannah is in the castle age, so there's a limit to how much Daniel can do over here. Crossbow Vodkin on the way, Hannah just patiently keeping the arms at home, knowing she has the numbers advantage. And University with the Dravidians as well, as the Dravidians get that 200 wood once they reach the castle age as well, makes it easier to afford and almost instant ballistics here. That's going to be huge against the Poles here. I don't think Daniel even has a... Oh, he has the University. He's getting ballistics. Huh. But ballistics, only 10 seconds apart between the two, but Hannah still has the numbers advantage at home, knows that all she needs to do is defend and let the teammates push on the other side as they are exactly doing. Some stray scouts from Bezos trying to cause some mischief here, but I don't think it's be any huge concern. Even about to get crossbow Vulcan as well, relatively easily affordable with the Ethiopians plus 100 food and wood entering the next stage. Nice quick walls attempts from Boss of the Iron Boys here, but once again, crossbows exposing the woodland, and Purple just massively struggling for wood income here. Did flee to another woodland in the back that's not been scouted yet by WWT, but all in all, massive eco lead now for WWT. They have 20 something builders lead, and they're also placing several extra town centers well ahead of Sweetie Boys. It's their home map for a reason. Once again, denying the main gold, side gold not being contested though. So it's an oversight from WWT not to see gold income happening over at this side. So not quite working together with crossbows and knights here, but tracking resource armies here certainly helps out as well. And you can see the earlier castration really paying off for Soba here. It's 2000 turns. Resource only got one, so should mean a temporary numbers advantage for resource with the lower investment in the economy. But Soba now with 3 stables producing the knights and almost has the gold income to justify that. Still be a good fight for Soba over here. Boss of the Iron Boys halfway to the cast stage, but barely any military to benefit from that. Some archers in the queue, yes, but just not gonna get much benefit from that, as the knights will take out the one and only defensive tower. Hasn't been mining in the stone, so more defensive towers would mean a huge investment in terms of trading resources. Let's have a look at the right-hand side, as Danil is pushing. Hannah here has managed to diminish the army numbers of Hannah, but Hannah's home base also relatively secure with the 2 town centers protecting the core resources here. Gold in between two town centers there. Banging on bike row on point for Hannah here, actually manages to scramble some repairs and take a 1-for-0 trade there. Boss of the Iron Boys now in the cast stage will be able to afford crossbow, so we'll have a small chunk of crossbows to boot here, but look at the pocket numbers here. 3 stables still producing for Sofa, playing well from the pocket position here, and resource just not able to keep up here, placing a second target immediately. Don't think that's the right call at this stage in the game, as you really need military from the pocket here to keep up, and you're not in a position to boom really, but maybe looking to secure the secondary gold for the long term here. University now going up for Steve, wants to get that ballistics upgrade in. WWT 20 military ahead, but massively ahead in the economy here. So they are able to I mean, once they lose their military, they just have so much more, should have so much more resources in the bank to replenish these armies. That's what I'm saying. Trying for a choke point here, Steve's gonna trade against the few knights there are for a resource over here. Woodline getting exposed again. This game must be nearing the end. I think 200 villagers for WWT. They're twice the economy size of Sweetie Boys now. They have a marginal... Not marginal, actually. They have 1/3 more military than Sweetie Boys as well. So they're really putting up a show on the home map here, which means we'll see Arena next. Just comfortably extending the economy more here. Hannah has managed to re-mass units here. In fact, is outmassing the Poles player Daniel over here now. All in one TC player, this guy, it seems. Almost gets a good hit in with the manual there, but Hannah's Cosmo Micro is definitely on point. Looks like we want a forward castle to happen here as well. Let's see if that can go up with only Scorpions and a Monk to defend here. Managed to snag some relics, which is always good to keep away from the opposing team. I don't think this forward castle is doing too much though. It's denying stone of the Dravidians unless this crossbow mass can actually dive in and stop it, but 21 crossbows for the Poles as well. Some knights joining in here for Sova. I think that castle completes, but it's barely denying anything else. It's denying some of the production maybe. It's going to cost so many villages along the way, and look at the eco difference between teal and red here. It's like almost 3 times the villager size for Hannah. She doesn't mind at all losing some crossbows, denying its castle, and it's just to deny the castle. Didn't see that coming, actually. Because the crossbow mass was comparable. And yes, Hannah is sacrificing the crossbows, but why wouldn't she when she can deny a forward cast like this and take out tons of villagers? Meanwhile, at the back of the Neil's base, Steve has made the full circuit around the map here. Is catching the Poles off guard at home base. Nothing to defend here for the Poles. There is the DG. DG. WWT. Take the home map. And they are going to turn this into a what? 1. What is set? Sorry for the lane. Oh. That's some good sportsmanship right there. These things happen. Right. So I'll have a look through the statistics before we move into the final game on Arena. Dominant KD here for Sova and Steve. Look at those 89, 34, 104, 48. Look at all of the villagers killed. Their eco KD almost 100 here, which is explaining the huge villager difference between the teams. Economy nearly untouched. They barely lost villagers at all this game. I love the move of moving the crossbows around to catch the Poles player off guard while committing heavily to a forward castle as well. Good game sense right there. Faster uptimes for Sweetie Boys. Gave them not as much as they would have wanted, I think. So what? Not losing a single villager all game. 93 villagers total. Right, so that is a 1-1. Hannah's team taking the win for their home map. You can see Ethiopians, Dravidians, and Franks for that one. That's with the Huns. And Poles losing that one. Poles not being safe for Arena. That surprises me. Which leads me to believe we're not going to see the Mongols for Arena, but we're going to see Cubans, Italians, Burmese. That would be my logical pick, anyway. Especially since Boss of the Iron Boys is the nickname of one of the players. Vietnamese. Decent, maybe not top tier for Arena, but Teutons and Portuguese are a given. Celts, Siege, late game could come in very handy as well. Let's see what they have in store for us as we move into the final game of this playoff in Division 4. Arena is coming up. No Mongols, no. No Magadite, no Trail Siege. Here we go. Teutons, pretty much a given as a pocket among the civilizations picked by WWT here. Conversion resistance being the Teutons team bonus. Also, +1 melee defense added as a team civilization bonus. In the Castle Age, to stack with another +1 melee armor in Imperial Age, so Teuton's melee units not to be messed around with. They have fully upgraded paladins with an additional +2 melee armor. And same applies to infantry, of course. Could be 14 pop Mongols fresh, not the Magadai. Could be, but there aren't any Mongols here. That's not happening. Students' pockets here. Also got Ironclad Siege for the very late game. Extra armor on the siege weapons. Another strong unit option for the Teutons, accompanied by their very tanky halberdiers with additional 2 melee armor on top of full blacksmith upgrades. To the right hand side we have Steve, now playing in the flank again as the Celts. Wonder if we'll see some kind of Castle Age siege pressure from the Celts here, perhaps. Fantastic booming civilization, but do you want to boom on the flank? Hello, Crazy Joe. Nice to see ya. Left hand side, Sova with the Portuguese. Organ guns, perhaps. Late game, Praetorius Link, who knows? Yeah, Castle Drop Organ Guns would be a Portuguese play, especially when you get your build up and start collecting the berries. You collect some wood along the way as well. Leaves you needing fewer builders on wood overall, and lets you focus more on stone and gold for your Castle Drop and unique unit. But they'll be up against the Burmese though, who will also might want to play Iron Boy, given the name. Boss of the Iron Boys. That said, the era of double castle Iron Boy for the Burmese is long gone. They still have a strong monk siege push though, because their monastery technologies are at a discount. So that's certainly a way to play the Burmese for arena. Burmese flank for boss of the Iron Boys. Cuman's pocket, as expected, for Rizos, who's been playing pocket the previous games as well. Why Cuman's pocket? Because they are the only civilization in the game that can place an additional town center in the feudal age, which allows them to kickstart the boom in the feudal age already, and then even though it delays their castle age, they'll enter the castle age at a much stronger economy than any other civilization if left untouched with that boom, and hence able to spam cavalry or just go for a much faster imperial age with a strong economy behind it with those 2 town centers. Finally, we have Infantil, a player subbed in here for Sweetie Boys, as the Italians. 15% discount for the Italians moving on to the next ages, so that's a benefit from them, especially on closed maps and naval maps where these timings matter maybe even more than on the open land maps. Preemptively warning as well, maybe expecting some early game shenanigans from the Celts here. Well, this is arena, and I don't think you have any classic tower rush sims here, so I'll take the liberty of speeding it up a little bit. Most exciting thing we might see here is a little bit of scouts running into each other for an early fight. Humans entering the feudal age, that's going to be a second town center at 19 population over here. Also covering the gold, so I quite like that. 7 villagers building it, builds slowly. Even at fast forward speed here. WWT going up at 24 and 25 pop respectively. And this could actually be a... Wait, what's the barracks for? Could be a fast castle siege push with Celts accompanied by Teuton's cavalry. A little bit of what scouts run in here. Rizos will be intercepted by the opposing team. Castle Age now on the way for the Burmese. Heavy on the stone here. That's so many on the stone, I almost even suspect a double Castle Iron Bioforge, which I haven't seen in years. But we'll see. We'll see what the Castle Age brings. As Sweetie Boys make it inside of Hannah's base over here. That's gonna be annoying with 2 full HP scouts inside of your base where your villagers don't have loom yet. I'm going to force Hannah to maybe scramble up quick walls here. She sends her own scout home as well. Some unfortunate distraction for Hannah. About to enter the castle age, only 25 seconds away here now. Small walls keeping the erosion away, will not really going to lose any villagers here, I don't think. Castle going up at home for the Burmese. Look at the stone income, still 11 stone. I think he's not joking around, this guy. Boss of the Iron Boys wants 2 castles up for the ultimate defense and the double castle Iron by production. Or are we going to relocate these guys maybe? Gonna need wood and gold for these Iron Buys as well. Hannah losing 1 villager, but that's gonna be about it. Second town center coming up just like that. She does get distracted though. But certainly sets back WWT's early castle age quite a bit. Infantile with the Italians defensive castle going up here, not taking any chances, not going to allow for any early Celts siege push here, but that's archers from the Celts. At the castle. I am confused. Really confused as to what this is. Yeah, okay, we've relocated away from the stone, so not double castles after all, but a second town center for boss of the Iron Boys instead. So going to quickly double up on that economy, but got some of the Iron Boys producing as well. They have a high attack, but it is pierce attack, so you don't easily punch through buildings with the Iron Boy. Don't think this forward castle is going to do too much for Steve, as there is already a defensive castle in this direction for Infantile, but at the very least it's going to keep the Italians... Hold on. It's going to keep the Italians busy. Infantile apparently going for the fast Imperial Age monk siege play here, which is perfect against what Steve is currently doing, because Steve is attempting a forward castle here, and Infantile is going to be in the Imperial Age just a minute after this castle goes up. So this forward castle, already with this castle placement of Infantile, it doesn't do anything. But with that early Imperial Age from the Italians as well, this castle is just going to be swept down before Steve can even say Genoese crossbowmen. First, nothing up here. Still a scout inside of Hannah's base. That's funny. That must have been annoying. She did even go for loon. Maybe just an extra safety against those annoying scouts inside of her base. Steve, moving the villagers away. What's the plan here? Can't really drop another castle. I mean, where are you going, Steve? Siege workshop. Imperial Age in there. Just any second now for Infantile. And Steve quickly changes his mind. Nope. I'm out of here. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. Trying to find an opening only to find another layer of walls behind here. First trebuchet, of course, in queue for Infantile. There's just no stopping that. A house going up here as well, which means the trebuchet will pop out here, ideally. Out of range of the blue players. Yeah, WWT seem way out of their depth here on the closed map that is Arena. Defensive cast for Sova here. Would have ideally wanted to go offensively against the Burmese, I'm sure. But we now have 15 Arabs, and look at these guys. 12. Attack. 3 monasteries for Infantile here. Being joined by some of Rizzo's Cuman knights as well. Cumans, undisturbed feudal age boom here. Sweetie Boys in a great spot. I have to say, great spot so far. Even getting some conversions into the archers here. Cat's archer is not doing anything. Steve just doesn't seem to have any idea, and is going into certain death here as the passive Monk Siege play meets humans fully boomed cavalry. And even though Boss of the Iron Boys hasn't really done anything on the side, Stone's just left Soba with a Portuguese boom here. Arguably a better economy still for WWT, but that forward castle didn't do anything, didn't do any damage. Italians and untouched Imperial Age here. Human cavalry increasing by the minute, and we already have 2 trebuchets to allow to break through. In all seriousness, actually, maybe just go straight for the pocket now. Maybe just go straight for the Teutons. At least the Teutons conversion resistance helps a little bit for WWT against the fast Monk tribes aggression, but look at these guys. Block printing is in. What else is in? Illumination and Theocracy. So only Sanctity, no Fervor, so the monks are on the slow side for the Italians, but regardless of that, monk numbers increasing, trebuchets moving forward, and we have the cavalry support, so you can't just dive in with light cav or anything here either. This is not the time to boom Steve, I'm sorry to say, but this is just going to be a nightmare to deal with for the blue player. At least the Teutons player is still kind of free booming here. Places a monastery, maybe for some counter conversions as well. Defensive castle in a decent spot here for Soba. At least if Soba can get all of the walls up here. But who's to stop the Italians player from sending some trebs over here to deal with this castle as well? Low economy, yes, but strong combination as a result. We are in at the Celt base, and this is just Sweetie Boys moving in for a quick kill over here. Arambai are in there getting some builder kills over here. Maybe focus on the weak spot here. Yeah, for example, the archery range. Quick balls not going to keep these ranged units out. That's 24 Arambai against 1 organ gun. Who wins? And the big brain move of the petards over here as well, going to try and break through one of these bits of wall perhaps, and then the Armby can roam around and get lots of ability kills on this other side as well. Nope, petards failing, but the archery range foundation almost going down there. It's about to go down. Going to let the Armby in here, and as you can see the top side, that Cuban's fully upgraded cavalry raid is just going to completely overwhelm the Celts here. WWT in big trouble here against Sweetie Boys. Quick houses there from Soba to force the Arambai to path in towards the town centers here. Organ guns not getting to the desired amount though, and a second castle coming up for boss of the Iron Boys. Look at all these monks from the Italians as well, converting villagers, converting everything here. Steve's economy in shambles, only got gold here. A little bit sold, a little bit of wood, barely even able to afford new TCs. Did manage to pull some villagers away, so it's not going to be completely defeated here inside of his own walls. It's certainly looking rough. Teutons Cavalier now, she is in the Imperial Age, he is getting Cavalier, so definitely going to put up a fight against the Cubans Castle Age Knights here, but with all these monks here for Infantile, it's still going to be really tough to engage. Hannah needs to mix in some light cavalry here, as that's the only option that Teutons have against, well, not the only option they have against the monks, but they also get light cav, which has increased bonus damage, or Hussar, which has increased bonus damage against monks. Third castle for boss of the Iron Boys. Okay, really just doubling up on the Iron Buy production here, but tripling up on it and doesn't mind losing some Iron Buy at Soba's side, of course. Soba going into the crossbow, eventually the armless. That should be a good response to the Iron Buy, but look at the Celts player, now down to 50 villagers, nearing the point of defeat here. Funnily enough, the economy situation is almost comparable, but WWT is struggling big time to keep up with the army numbers here. 38 knights for Rizos against the 19 cavaliers for Hannah, but one player down for WWT, which means then the Trebs could move to this area and obstruct Hannah further, deny any additional. Archers still die from Iron Boys. Yeah, not Arbless though, they have further range. You obviously need a mass, but... But the crossbows do. I agree with the crossbows. Imperial fully upgraded almost Cavaliers here for Hannah. Certainly yet. If she's able to get to Paladin somehow, the Castle Age Cumans play will struggle. But speaking of Castle Age, Cumans just kicked the Imperial Age here, which means that Cumans Cavalier will be on the menu soon as well. Hannah, outnumbered here, tries to add some scouts here to pick up some of Infantile's monks, but look at that, 5 monstries producing the monks for Infantile. Trebs moving out now, 3 trebuchets as well. If there is a university here somewhere, Infantile could also go for bomber cannons with the Italians. Hannah is getting some decent fights here, but as Infantile gets conversions in on the Cavaliers, easier said than done against students, but could it so happen? Then could turn around. Yeah, looks like the Cumans numbers advantage still plays a big role in this. Hannah, 5 sales produced now, actually outproducing the Humans. That extra melee armor is helping out a lot. Monks not able to keep up here, only 12 monks now for Infantile. Keeps the production going, but obviously doesn't have a great economy behind this with the Italians. Buys. Denying some expansion from Soba here. Soba with only 20 armless though. Bracer is in, armor coming in as well. Ability helping the Iron Buy here, but see, 20 arms, enough to one-shot the Iron Buy. At least as long as you hit. Base accuracy higher as well. Now fleeing back towards the castle. Don't tell me WWT are gonna get back from this. We still only have 16 villagers for Steve. But they've been holding very well. Hannah's home base has yet to be touched, but that goes for Cubans as well. Imperial Age Cubans could certainly meddle in here. They have access to Siege. They have probably still a healthier economy in the bank. Hannah seems to be able to bring in gold consistently. But now, with the Humans getting Cavalier and possibly even Paladin, life could get much harder for the students here. Hannah has to mass army, right? Can't really go for the Paladin upgrade here anytime soon. Needs to have armies to match, as this match is currently more of a 2 vs 3 situation. Cavalier, plate parting. Just need it out for the Cubans. And even taking advantage of the main gold of Steve's former home base over here. Iron Buy is keeping the Portuguese at home here. Still strong pressure from Sweetie Boys, even though Hannah has survived the aggression nicely so far. Are we going to see any immediate Paladin click here as well? Gold situation, just sell all the wood and go Paladin here maybe? Maybe cancel some Cavaliers. Like you could even sell stone to justify the Paladin upgrade here for the Humans. That would be a huge advantage against lower numbers to this Cavalier here to get the Paladin with the extra stats that they provide in terms of attack and hit points. Humans Cavalier now inside of Hannah's base. That's going to be the death of this farming economy of the Teutons. Look at Hannah's resources, food count, gold count on the lower side. Felt Reboom in effect, but not in any position to contribute to this game. I think Sweetie Boys has this one in the bag. Still no Paladin click, maybe doesn't need it here. Anna producing up to 6 stables, but it's not going to be enough to keep everyone away. Infantil even got a decent chunk of Cavaliers here now through conversions only, I believe. Steve goes for the Celts. Pikeman here, that's not going to contribute too much, as we see Sweetie Boys. Not WWT, but Sweetie Boys taking the 2-1 here. Sorry, Steve. Congratulations on winning the 30. I'm glad to see players showing the good sportsmanship here. Nice set though. If this had been a best of 5 and we'd had more home maps to play, there would still be at least one more home map for WWT. And we could see a different result because these are clearly stronger on their home maps of choice, these players. That would emphasize the importance of drafting even more. But it is what it is. I don't want people to go too far out of the way of their real lives to play a best of 5 rather than a best of 5. And not to delay the finals too much either. So the compromises made here to play a best of 3 final, which was still a good set. Good set. Humans dominating here, untouched for all of the game. Barely lost any villagers, Sweetie Boys. Italians, low eco, obviously, but a very early Imperial Age. Rendering Steve's cast drop. Useless on the side of the Italians. Wrong call there by the Celts. Yeah, time zone's a bitch, isn't it? So you have to compromise to get matches played at all. Let's just show the end game situation in humans. Burmese, Italians taking that one. Fast Italians getting away with that. Portuguese, Celts, and Teutons losing that one. Giving Sweetie Boys the 2-1. Alright, 2-1 for Sweetie Boys. Winning Sokotra and Arena. Yeah, it was a strong push for sure. Very hard to stop if left unattended like that. That's the way it looks in the end. 3-1 for... No, 2-1 for Sweetie Boys, sorry. We can effectively end Division 4 as well.